Welcome, everyone. This is another week of team training, team prosperity training. Last week, we did not have a training. We're coming off the back of Memorial Day, but we're getting right back at it this week. And what we're really planning on doing this summer is have a summer of learning. And if you learn and implement what we're trying to teach you, you will be able to build a robust virtual financial services agency nationwide. That is a win for you, win for your clients, win for partners, win for everybody involved. So that's what we try to do, aim you guys with the information, the strategies, the execution, the plan of action to get this done. Like I said, last week we did not have a meeting, but the week before, what we covered was the daily power hour. And that's how to build your pipeline in 60 minutes a day. And it's very powerful because you don't have to spend all these hours on your business. That's a misconception. What you do have to do is get organized. The time that you do spend on your business, it has to be, pointed, it has to be directed into something that's going to get a return. And that has to include your energy, intensity, aggressiveness, all the things that you need to do to keep pushing the metric, keep pushing the stick, as well as keep pushing people towards different calls to action, whether those are partners or clients. So we'll go ahead and get into today's training. Today's training is a foundational training, and what we're going to do is we're going to come off the backs of this and springboard into more breakdowns of some of these things that we're introducing today. So this today is how to go from absolute zero, from nothing in this industry to scaling your and building your nationwide virtual financial services business. And we have a lot of components of the business, but it's all based around the building blocks of the financial plan, financial coaching, debt to wealth strategies, etc. There's a lot of products and services mixed in from there, whether you're taking pieces or the entire model. This is a training that will be a foundational training on how to really get things moving in a positive direction. The goal for today, what we're trying to accomplish, I want to equip you guys with whether you're brand new, whether you've been around a while and stuck in early traction, with a clear, actionable roadmap to go from, like I said, absolute zero to scaling a profitable virtual financial services agency. How do we do that? We do that because we don't need extra infrastructure. We don't have to set up offices. We don't have to equip those offices with telecommunication equipment, all of these things that would cause investment to come into your business. All of those things that we take out by being virtual, what you want to do is as money comes in, understand the advantages that you have and how you can push that money into direct things like lead generation and throw fuel on the fire. So you don't need offices. You don't need all of these regular kind of old age financial services roadmaps. But what you do need to understand is where you are and how to get to the next point that you're trying to get to. So welcome, you guys. Today's training is going to be foundational. And like I said, we'll springboard off of this into more breakdown, but I don't like to keep you guys for too long. So if you're just getting started or you're trying to gain traction, this is designed to help you move through the different phases of growth. What are those? That's from zero to traction, to building, to growing and scaling this business. This is a playbook that I wish somebody had for me when I came into this industry from day one. Nobody gave me a playbook. Nobody really gave me a plan of action and execution. It was just thrown out there. Whatever happens, happens. So I want to make sure that you guys do have something that you can go to, your agents can go to as a framework and a blueprint. So who's this for? This is for you if you're a brand new agent or you're trying to get into building, anyone stuck in the early stage, whether you've been around a month or a year plus, or if you're just in a place where you're ready to level up and treat this like a business. Remember, if you treat this like a business, you're going to make business income. If you treat this like a hobby, you're going to make hobby income. What is a hobby? IRS declares a hobby as a business that's unprofitable for 3 straight years. So understand what you're doing and understand where you're trying to get to, because you're in the right place if you're ready to turn a license into an opportunity, into a scalable, profitable business that's not just about selling insurance or software here or there, making a little money to get by. It's about setting yourself up and your family for the future by building an asset. Yes, you have near-term income, but you also have long-term asset ability. The 4 stages of growth is you got to get traction. You got to get that initial traction. That's going to be fighting, clawing, scratching, however you can do it. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute. But once you get the traction, then you can start to build, grow, and scale. Now, you're going to have different issues, different problems, different things to overcome at each one of these stages. So don't skip ahead. This framework is progressive. Each phase builds on the last one. So don't skip because you really can't. You master each stage. So the next one becomes easier and more predictable. Once I get traction, now I'm building, then I'm growing, then I'm scaling. You can't go from traction to scaling. You try to do that, it's going to be a complete mess. You're going to accomplish absolutely nothing. So a lot of you guys are right here in the traction. If you're there, I'm going to show you how to get out of that and then how to predictively start to build a business from there. So phase one, zero to traction. This is the first phase, and this is the one that if you don't get out of, you're never going to have a business. So what is this all about? Well, it's about mindset first. You need to treat, commit, and take. You need to treat this like a real business. Once again, it's not a hobby. This is a business. If it's going to change the financial lives of you, your partners, your clients, your family, treat it like a real business. Give it the time, energy, and resources that it deserves. And the investment into that should pay a long-term dividend for you. And then commit. Commit to learning and showing up. There's a two-part process to building this business: learning and then implementing what you learn. So commit to learning, showing up, and then taking that and implementing it into your business. And then what does that mean? Take messy action. Speed matters. Remember Facebook, when they were first starting, had a motto, move fast and break stuff. That's what I want you to take on. It's not about perfection. Perfection is just a veiled way to procrastinate and keep kicking the can down the road. I'll do it later. Get in there, get it done, make a lot of mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and then move on. You don't have to repeat this, but you do have to go through it once. The best advice for beginners is what we call done beats perfect. Don't overthink scripts or systems. Just start conversations, understanding they're probably not going to be that great in the beginning, but they can't go from nothing to great. You've got to go out and you've got to have the conversations. You've got to make the mistakes. You've got to learn from those mistakes so that confidence can come in. Confidence comes from competence, and competence comes from doing. So once again, get out there, have the conversations, do the things that are necessary so you can get out of the initial stage. You can build your mindset, and then you can move on to other things. Your initial plan. However you get it done, you get it done. But most of the time, it's going to be with some type of a market that you know. Now, what are you doing? Are you selling technology to these people? Are you selling insurance plans to these people? Maybe, but definitely not on the front end. That's the greatest way to kill your contacts, especially the people you know. We've talked about this before. We got plenty of training about this. This is about asking for people's help, asking for their opinion, asking for their feedback about some stuff you have. We have free guides that we give away. We have master classes, webinars, education. We have a lot that we give away for free. Puts you in a power position because you're not pitching, selling, or recruiting. You're asking for feedback based on some value propositions. Now, what does this do? By getting this information in front of the people that you know, you'll get some feedback, you'll get some constructive criticism, but you're also getting the information over to hopefully get some people into asking questions. Those questions are buying questions, and you can usually get things out of your existing market if you know what you're doing. Practice the discovery conversation. The discovery conversation is about learning how to ask questions. If it's mortgage protection insurance, hey, if yesterday was that day and we had a heart attack, stroke, cancer, disability, something impaired us, what does today look like for us, our family, ability to pay the mortgage? How long does the bank account last? You have to learn how to ask probing questions that lead into value propositions. If you don't have a plan for this, you need to grab our guide. You need to attend our master class, and that will help you guys. So it's not that you need to do selling. You need to do contact and conversations. And that leads into free stuff that we have, may lead into absolutely nothing, but hopefully it's going to get some appointments per week. Now, we're going to help you with the appointments. We're going to help you close down some business, but I can't close no one. So if you guys bring stuff to the table, we will work together till you feel confident in that stage. But really in your initial plan, you want to focus on two things: education and solutions. You want to educate the market on potential solutions on how to hedge consequences, how to do this, that, or the other. That leads into them opting in for whatever the call to action is. Remember, every conversation, every text, every email is going to have an objection or goal, or objective or goal. I'm sorry. If it doesn't, then you're just talking to be talking. So what are you trying to accomplish out of the call, the meeting, the text, or the email, and stick to it? If you go into stuff with a target or objective, it makes it a lot easier to lead people to the next action step because you know what it is and you're trying to lead them there. So focus on education solutions, value-based propositions that will get the conversation started, and we will help you close some of these. This is where you get, this is where we help you get the first wins. This is discoveries can lead to savings reports, illustrations, potential sales. These first few clients, however we get them, will give you proof, belief, and income to reinvest. That is the key. You have to, whatever you need to do in this initial stage, you need to get it done. What do we mean by getting it done? Well, you need income milestones. You need to close a few people, and you need to make between $2,000 and $6,000. I think $5,000 is a good mark, but we'll take this range 2 to 6. Now, what is this going to do? I always tell you guys to do two things. Number one is pay yourself. You're not going to get motivated by making money, not spending a little bit on yourself. Now, what do most people in insurance and financial services do? They make a big check, they blow it, and they're on to the next commission. That's just how they live life. What you want to do is you want to pay yourself a little bit. So let's say you earn $5,000 in commission. Let's say you take $2,000 of that and spend it on yourself. Now, where does the other $3,000 go? This is where the discipline comes in. It needs to be reinvested into your business because you don't want to have to manufacture outbound interest in what you do all the time. That becomes a very tiring process. So what you need to do is invest in lead generation, invest in marketing, invest in something that's going to give you inbound interest. So now you're talking to people that have already seen things and they at least have a general interest in talking to you. If you make five, spend two, you have $3,000 and your lead generation is going to cost you $500 a month. You got 6 months worth of lead generation stacked up there, ready to go. It's $1,000 a month. Obviously, you've got 90 days of lead generation. Now, hopefully that lead generation is going to manufacture into more sales and more ways to pay yourself and reinvest into your business. It's hard to make data-driven decisions when you have to do all the outbound. If you know what your conversions are, this is what my leads cost, this is what my appointments cost, this is how many make it, actual show rate, this is how many people I close, this is how much money I make, this is my return on investment. Then it just becomes very easy because you're just throwing more fuel on the fire. If I buy more of this particular marketing or leads, I expect to make this much more money. So that's where the data-driven decisions and the metrics will come in when you start actually investing money into your business. That first initial traction, that stage one, phase one, get it done however you can. Your first few clients are what we call the spark. They give you a story, a testimonial, a foundation you can build on. Now, we have testimonials, stories, all these things from our clients that you can use in the beginning, but it's also going to spark you because, like, sometimes when a battery dies in an engine, you need a spark to get it going, right? So, same thing here. It's going to get you energized, get you more interested in your business, and give you the ability to move out of that initial phase into building where you have money to invest into your business. And then that leads us to phase two. So after we get that initial, we're going to go from traction to building. And this is where things get fun because now this is where the numbers come into play. This is where the ability to forecast comes into play. This is where routine equals results. So your daily focus areas, you are in a contact business, whether you're generating this organically or paid, you're still talking to people, you're still contacting people, you're still having conversations with people. We talked a couple of weeks about the power hour. So prospecting is extremely important. Whether you're networking to build agencies or where you're talking directly to clients, you need to be talking about your business, showing interest in other people if you're networking to build interest in what you're doing. And the follow-ups, whether you're organic or paid, lead generation is one thing. What's going to separate a high earner from a low earner is the ability to follow up. Most don't do it. Most of the sales and the interactions, it's going to take between 4 and 7 when you really start to see those wheels kind of turn. Most people would never follow up with somebody that much. Some people don't follow up at all. Most of the time it's between 1, possibly 2 times. So separate yourself from the crowd, understand what it takes to become a high earner. One of those is the ability to understand and value follow-up. Social posting, whatever you're trying to do, build brand awareness, education, entertaining, lead magnets, get used to posting and get used to creating things that may be outside your comfort zone, posting things outside your comfort zone. Not talking about politics or religion, talking about some things that would get engagement, things about you, your business, why you do what you do. So think about and interact with AI because a good, diverse framework for posting is going to give you everything that you need. And then weekly discovery goals. What is it that you're trying to accomplish that week? And then backtrack that into, okay, those are my weekly goals. What do I need to get done today? And that goes all the way back to our Sunday prep that we did training many weeks ago. What do I want to get done this week? What are my big wins for the week? And then what do I need to get done today to make sure that happen? Business, once again, guys, is a numbers game. Set a power hour, 60 minutes a day to build a pipeline. You don't have to spend many hours, but you do have to spend that 60 minutes in the best possible way. It's an investment. Message leads, follow up, share results, do it every single day. I've seen people come into this business and get a torrid start, absolutely just tear stuff up. And then you're like, man, this person's going to be awesome. And they let their foot off the accelerator little bit by little bit. They start drifting. You need to come to the business every single day, every single week, every single month with a level of consistency. There's no start and stop. If you start and stop in this business, it's like you never really started at all. You're going back to the goal, step A, phase one, every single time. And what that's going to do, that's going to beat you up and beat you down to the point that you quit. So this is a numbers game. Understand, if you put the time, you put the effort, you put the numbers in, things will happen for you. Social media is part of your marketing plan. If it's not part of your marketing plan is not done yet. I'm not telling you have to go out on TikTok and all these things and share all this stuff, but you do need to pick a couple platforms and you need to learn the algorithm and put some time, energy, resources behind those to build your brand, to create client awareness, partner awareness, etc. So whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, other social bios, optimize those. Remember, those are not, for example, LinkedIn is not a resume format for you. It's a marketing page. It's a lead generation page. It's a brand awareness page. So as you're understanding what you're trying to get on each platform done, optimize the profile for it to be there. Then, like I said, if you don't have this stuff yet, we have it, but share client wins, testimonials, personal learning. Obviously, personal learning would be something that you can share, but if you need stuff in the beginning to show results, client wins, testimonials, etc., we have that for you until you can get that yourself. Now, if you're making the difference in a partner's life or a client life, get a testimonial, get a review, get something you can share. No one's going to do it if you don't ask. If you ask, most everybody will do it for you. So just remember that rule. And then add value. Don't just sell. What are you trying to do? Bring solutions to problems, preemptive problems, known problems, whatever it is, to the table, to the marketplace, with value-based propositions, education, things that we do that once again are going to lead to buying decisions. Start letting people know what you do and who you help and why you do it. You're not chasing, you're attracting. If you're chasing people, you're going to be a salesperson. If you're attracting, then what's going to happen is your marketing will start to create different cycles of communication. And then once again, the follow-up through that, will either qualify or disqualify those, taking them to the next action step, which eventually is revenue and income recognition. You need to invest in your business, guys. So what is investment in your business? What it means, wherever you're at, it's a different growth stage, traction stage, building stage, scaling stage, whatever it is. You're going to need different kind of stuff. But these are examples. Hey, you need a calendar system. You need probably to upgrade Zoom if you're on the free, so you don't get cut off in the middle of a very important conversation. You need something to organize yourself, like CRM, Go High Level, Notion, simple spreadsheet to start out if you're not to this point yet. And then once again, a small ad test if confident. Now we have marketing infrastructure, we have ads that are out there, so you don't have to go out, reinvent the wheel. You can just kind of throw money into the pile or on the pile and understand that, we're creating stuff. So don't feel like, oh my God, I'm going to go out and I'm going to blow this $1,000, get nothing in return. We already understand what $500 or $1,000 should do for your business. Reinvesting early profits, once again, pay yourself and then invest in your business, sets you up for long-term leverage. Tools help you scale over time. The more that you can do to help yourself automate your business and get yourself to the point where it's not all on you and then teach other people to do that, that's how you build effective distribution. Know your numbers. So metric and the weekly goal. How many conversations am I having? How many appointments am I setting? How many reports or illustrations am I running? How many clients are closed? Now, in the initial part of your business, there's not a whole lot of data here. That's going to depend on what you say, how you say it, who you're talking to. But once you get into the investment side of your business, start putting some dollars into ad spend for yourself, we know exactly what to expect. So we can break all this stuff down for you, but understand what you're trying to do, because if you don't understand the goal, what you're trying to accomplish, how do you know if you accomplished it or not? You can't scale what you don't measure. So track weekly metrics and adjust your inputs accordingly as you go forward. The initial phase one of traction is done however you can get it done. Claw, scratch, bite, however you get it done. Get your initial 2 to 6,000. We use 5,000 as a mark, and then invest in your, or pay yourself, and then invest in your business. That leads us to phase three. Now that we're going to build to grow, we're out of the traction to build stage. Now we're actually going to build to grow. This is actually getting into broker type stuff. This is where you're going to duplicate yourself with 1 to 2 partners. Now, if you take everybody that can fog a mirror into your business, then you're going to have to work with all these people, train all these people, and a lot of these people aren't qualified to do what you need them to do. So be a talent scout. If you only have so much time to invest in your partners, understand that you want talent, right? You want people that time investment, that training investment that you're putting into them can possibly have return for themselves and you. You don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste their time. So duplicate yourself with a couple of partners and use the same discovery, 2-step model, convert debt to wealth, whatever it is that we're teaching, whatever it is that you're using for your business, use the same exact approach and framework. Why are we doing this? It's because it's going to help you identify problems that they're having. And then as you build generational down, you're going to understand what every office is doing because there's a framework to that. And then train to track metrics and close clients. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. If you don't know your business, you're not going to have a business. So you need to be training yourself and other people on how to understand what's happening or not happening in the business, and how to either fix what's not happening or how to throw fuel on the fire for what's happening. The moment you're consistently closing is when you start duplicating. Find partners who want to grow with you. Not everybody wants to do this. Not everybody can do this. Not everybody has the right reasons to do this. Learn how to interview people and bring in the right people. If they're not the right people, try to see if you can help them out on the client side. Turn them into a referral partner, something like that. Layer in lead generation. So this is about going out there and creating inbound marketing, inbound interest in whatever it is that you're advertising. So whether it's a LinkedIn strategy, paid lead funnels, whether you're out there blogging, running SEO, YouTube content, referral systems, whatever it is that you're doing, this is where you grow beyond your warm market and you create consistent inbound or outbound opportunities. Now, do we need you to go out and create all this stuff? No. We have stuff in place that we can share with you, but you need the money to be able to invest in that. And if it's your last $2,000 in the bank account, you should not be invested in leads when you haven't gone through phase one, because you're going to waste that money. You're not going to know what to say, how to say it, why to say it. You're not going to close anybody. You're going to become frustrated, and that's going to compound your financial stress. So make money, call it house money, pay yourself, invest in your business. And then what we want to do here is we want to get a checklist going. So what is it that we're really trying to accomplish? Well, you want to add structure. So when you add structure to your business, it's going to be easier for you to succeed, easier for you to teach other people. So what's your checklist? Well, client's result page, partner onboarding flow, weekly team huddles. What am I doing in my training portals? Well, I'm using Notion, Google Drive. How am I sharing information with my team? Because this isn't about you, and it's not about the partner you're training. It's about your ability to either build distribution or not build distribution. And what we mean by that is growth creates chaos unless you add systems. A little structure on the front end goes a long way towards professionalism and scalability. Just throwing a bunch of stuff against the wall to see if it sticks is not going to how you build distribution. And you get a handle on that before you ever get to this point. That's why we're telling you to take each phase step by step, master it, and then move on. And this is where you're going to grow to scale. This is where things get fun, because this is where distribution starts to happen. This is where the asset builds for yourself, and this can be life-changing. So you need to shift your thinking from that producer mentality into a builder and then into a CEO. Step out of the producer mindset. Now it's time for you to concentrate on building systems, building leaders. It's about you measuring growth, not just grinding through a commission. You now have momentum at this stage. Begin acting like it. Act like the CEO. delegate what you can, coach others, lead from the front. You can see how by doing the other steps and phases and learning and setting those things up appropriately for what needs to happen in each one of those phases, now you're not going to get to this point and create total chaos. So start where you are, do what you need to do, but understanding that at each new phase, each new step of your business, you got some things that you will need to take on at that point. But until you're there, don't worry about any of this stuff. Diversify your income. Remember, clients are going to give you technology sales, insurance, whether it be term, IUL, annuities. There's a lot that can come from the clients. Your partners create, not just active income, but passive income, overrides, spreads, bonuses. Referrals can come from clients. Referrals can come from partners. So you have to ask for them. Just like the testimonials and reviews, when value is being recognized by your clients, by your partners, get referrals. This is when you stop chasing what we call the one-off sales and you build a real revenue machine from multiple streams and scalable channels. Our entire business model has like 18 to 20 different streams of income that you can access. So once you get it really up and building, you're going to have constant deposits in your account, money coming from everywhere, but you can't go from 0 to 100. You got to build this thing according to the step-by-step. Your funnel vision. Whether you have funnels in place, whether you're working with us to get those in place, the funnel is really what we call the cycle. And at the top of the funnel, you have outreach and leads. This is where you're contacting people. This is where you're networking. This is where you're educating. This is where you're giving away free stuff. And in the middle is the appointments and presentations. This is, we're going from general interest into more concerted interest. People are interested in learning more about whatever they received on the front end, or learning more maybe about their specific situation. And the bottom is when you create the outcomes: sales, referrals, recruits, contact business. Contacts equal contracts. The more people that you talk to, the more people you'll have coming out of the bottom of the funnel. If you have absolutely nothing coming through the top of the funnel, it's not hard to understand how nothing can come out of the bottom. When you manage the top of your funnel daily, everything else flows. A full pipeline creates a full calendar and a full bank account. And that creates a happy partner, one that can now move on to a different stage. So when you're gaining traction, you need Calendly, discovery slides, client worksheets, the basic stuff. When you're building, now you need to start adding automation, right? We need to make sure that we have CRM, Zoom, lead tracker, testimonial reels. And as you grow, we're having funnels, the ad budget, the social templates. Then as you scale, this is once again where you turn more of a CEO, dashboards, standard operating procedures, onboarding docs. This is where you go from the producer mentality to the CEO mentality. Yes, you're still doing client presentations and things like that. You never really stop doing those, but you have some other stuff to do, including managing nationwide distribution. So this is the closing challenge. This is what I want you guys to take away from this introductory kind of foundational training, because we're going to get into more specifics in the weeks to come. But identify what stage you're in, really where you're at. And this is not how long you've been in the business. It's about what stage you're in. You could be in the business for a week or a year and still be in the same stage. So where are you? What stage? And then let's look at setting a week, a month, and a quarter goal. So what I want to get done in the next week, what I want to get done in the next month, what I want to get done in the next quarter, and all those fuel the next one. Commit to one bold business building move this week. Get outside your comfort zone. This can be an array of different things, depending on where you are, what stage you're in, but commit to getting out of your comfort zone and doing some type of a bold business building move this week. And once again, this is our message continuously. Reach out for help. You're not alone. Our first question is, what have you been doing? If it's nothing, I can't help you. You have to open your mouth. You have to talk to people. Once you start doing that, we can assist with whatever it is that you need. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to move forward consistently. This business pays out based on effort and skill. We're here to help you build both. So this is where we're going to end today. So this is going to be continued next week. And then we will run a couple of these on really helping you guys understand the foundational, the intermediate, and the advanced points of going from zero to a scalable nationwide distribution network of financial services.